Hey guys, Gabe here again from Gabe Gaming, and we've got another guide video for you today, and it's based on the surprise that we got from KLab. It's the limited scenario for Genzo, and another surprise. It's going to be a punch skill for the grand prize in the extreme level, and the move itself is called Fists of Glory. So before we dig into the team build, let's do some scouting. So here we have another all skill type, all Japan team, the Rising Sun. And obviously it's different from the previous one, which was based on the Germany team. Now there are some slight differences from this one and the previous three, and let me start off with the forwards. So obviously you've got Nita and Hyuga up here for the All Japan team. And to make matters worse, KLab has decided to give DM and DF killer for both of them. So their stats will go up 20% when facing DM and DF. And both of them also have got dribble enhance distance. So their range goes up by 7.5 once they successfully win the match via dribble. And Hyuga is even more OP. He's got, on top of the dribble range times 7.5, he's also got 100% distance added to his 1-2 if he wins the matchup via 1-2. The last and final for Genzo. So this time he's got JY Killer and also stats down 50% debuff on our team. So it's actually down 10% from the previous three, which was minus 60%. So yeah, in that sense, it's a little bit easier for us. Same as the previous scenarios, the special characters has the 100% shield for his own team. So here we basically cannot use Dreamfest Schneider, the green one, and we can't use the Dream Festival Margus either. So yeah, though for this one we do get a buff from using German players of 30%. So if you've got the new players from the new banner, that's great. Otherwise, we'll figure it out in the team build here. So that concludes the scouting. Let's now move up to team build and the strategy. So on to the team build here, starting always with the formation. I elected to use the forward and AM attack 10% EX formation again this time. I felt that it was better for my enablers to give them more buff, so it's slightly easier to pass it to my scorers. My main goal scorer in this particular scenario will be the Gacha Cha In Chong, and do teach him the heavy tank EX shot. It was available in the event store not too long ago. And do invest some SSR black balls into him as well. And if you can, please also do teach him the Red Devil header from another gacha unit. It's from the club one, if not mistaken. Otherwise, Misaki could also be a scorer as well, using his high-speed tornado Sky Alpha. Depending on your players, you could also use Hyuga, and that will enable his Flash Raiju shot as well. I am not entirely sure whether or not Triple S shot can score or not, but you could give it a try. Otherwise, this DS is probably not as effective as he is in the previous scenario due to the JY killer that Genzo has. And now moving on to enablers. This Brian actually is the MVP of my scenario for this one. His Insight Master as well as his skill block was one of the best for this scenario for me, and I highly recommend you to try him out as well. And otherwise, Grandiose is also very good and also gives shield. And finally, for bonds, for this particular build, I was able to build a 20% stats up. And in terms of shield, I have a total of 15.5% shield, which comes from Margus, Misaki, and Chess DS, of course, and then Grandiose. And to round it off, I chose to use Genzo this time, as he's got 50% handicap resistance, which basically means that he's immune to any stats down for this particular scenario. You could also use Selena's depending on your team build. To round it off, as always, do try to choose your best team skills so that it gives you the maximum stats up. And also, if you could use a club team, I would recommend you to use this Chester, which is very good, or this Hyuga, or this Hino. There's also a club Schneider that is a great option, as long as you could fit more club players. So that's it for the brief on team build. Let's move on to the gameplay now. So our strategy this time is to score 3 goals with Cha and use Misaki as a backup, while utilizing Brian and Grandiose's skill block to move the ball upfield and to try to match up Cha versus Genzo one-on-one. So a few tips here to help you out. Just like all the other All Japan scenarios, Hyuga and Nita doesn't have any defensive skills, so it would be advantageous if you match up with them with your DF or DM, and then buy some time for your players to move up further. And if you use your DF, it is advisable to have at least some leveled up A skills.
よし、チャンスだ。よし。
君には渡さないよ。うわ
よし来い。俺がここをフォローする。俺が止める。
行くぞ。それ。
俺なら止められるかもしれない。俺が止める。見たか。受けて立つ。
勝負だ。勝負だ。守るぞ。
お前を徹底マーク隊。
止めるぞ。
誰だろうと決めさせやしねえ。よし来い。
よっしゃ。よっしゃ。
俺たちは負けない。負けるか。
勝負だ。チャンスメイクも僕の役目だ。行くよ。さあ来い。
俺がここをフォローする。俺が止める。行くぞ。
行くぞ。オーロラカーテン。
勝負だ。行くぞ。俺は10年に1人の天才なんだ。これがファンリアス様の実力だ。行くぞ。俺が勝負する。お前を徹底マーク隊。よし、一気に行くぞ。よし、チャンスだ。いか。行くぞ。来るだけじゃ。お前らの希望とともに。誰だろうと決めさせやしねえ。よし来い。
よっしゃ。よっしゃ。
よっしゃ。負けるか。
勝負だ。チャンスメイクも僕の役目だ。行くよ。さあ来い。
俺がここをフォローする。行くぞ。
行くぞ。オーロラカーテン。
A small tip here, in these scenarios, a lot of times the AI will match up with your forwards execute a 1-2 and then activate their full power and take a shot right away. And to combat that, you want to try to go on the defensive mode, and this will force your players to move back, and therefore their forwards like this one with the DM and DF killer will be forced to match up with your AM and might even match up with your forwards, and that should help you defensively.
よし来い勝負だ入れさせない俺がマークにつくよし来い行くぞ行くぜそれ負けないぜ勝負だあとは頼みますはやぶさパスだ俺が相手だよし来い俺が蹴散らす行くぞそんなもらった俺なら止められるかもしれない俺が止めるどうだ勝負だ来やがれこんにゃろ根性だぜどうだわしが相手してやるたい。行くぞ。行くぞ。俺が蹴散らす。一気に行くぞ。つかせない。これを決められなきゃ俺はストライカーじゃねえ。虎を越える。これが俺の雷獣シュートだ。よし来い。俺の伝説はそう簡単に崩せやしないぜ。俺が行くぜ。よし来い。負けてたまるか。パスから流れをつかむぞ。よっしゃよっしゃ俺が勝負する。よし来い。よしかかった。これが俺のスパイラルターンだ。切り抜けてやるぜ。わしが相手してやるたい。よしかかった。これが俺のスパイラルターンだ。切り抜けてやるぜ。守るぞ。よしチャンスだ。よし行くぞ。来るだけじゃお前らの希望とともに。誰だろうと決めさせやしねえ。よし来い。よっしゃ よっしゃ
Well, that's it for the guide on Genzo's limited scenario. Special shout out before I end here to my YouTube channel Suksuk Gaming, as well as my Patreon member Jackknife for their support. And if you've enjoyed this video, please help me out by giving me a like and share this with your friends that might need help as well. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for more guides like these ones. Until next time, have a good one, guys. See ya.